So, all right, a very good afternoon once again. So, the panel discussion would be revolving around manufacturing at 2030, from cost efficiency to global competitiveness. We have individuals who are stalwarts in the manufacturing sector, and we would be having their views in all across, exploring that how the emerging technologies such as Industry 4.0 that we have been talking about regularly. Now we've also touched based upon Industry 5.0, AI, smart factory system, and transforming productivity and operational excellence. We will also reflect upon how sustainability and ESG priorities are reshaping the business models. So I am going to start the discussion by asking Mr. Johari, Mr. Mohit Johari, that sir, what do you think that how can Indian manufacturing organizations transition from cost-led competitiveness to value-led global leadership by our milestone, what we call as 2030?
Thank you, Sanandi, and thank you, the entire team of Jaipuria Institute for having called me and all of us here for this wonderful, wonderful session. And the kind of coordination, I would start off with the kind of coordination that I've seen starting with Sanandi, Dr. Rajiv Matthew, Iti, who's been coordinating, and Rishabh, where are you? Say hi from wherever you are. Yeah. So the kind of coordination that I've witnessed is amazing. So there is something nice happening at Jaipuria. So a big hand for all of you together, because you and your teachers seem to be doing a fantastic job of nurturing how you should be going about doing things. So hats off to you guys. With 81 years of legacy, that is what I could gather from one of the AVs. It's nearing a century of building students and building careers. So a big hand for Jaipuria for that matter. I'll start off just to energize you guys. I'm just making you clap a little more, right? So you have a legacy and a future to look up to. Personally, when I got this call from Jaipuria, I was super excited to be here because, say about 40 years ago, my father used to be a visiting faculty at the Jaipuria Institute when it was based in Kavinagar, Ghaziabad. So that's the kind of connect that I have with Jaipuria. Now coming to the topic of what India needs to do and how we need to go about it. Any idea of what the global GDP is in trillion dollars? Any guesses? Anyone of you wants to take a guess of what the global GDP is in trillion dollars? Okay. So it is $120 trillion, right? And what is India's GDP? I want you to feel a little not so good about it. What is India's GDP with 14% of the world's population? $4 trillion. So we are just about 3-point-some% with 14% of the world's population. So this is the disconnect that we need to correct. And this is where guys like you are going to shape or do things which are going to make India at least on a 1:1 as far as GDP per ratio is concerned. So 14% of population with just 3% of GDP doesn't look good. What is America's GDP? Much more than that, it is $30 trillion. So America is 1/4 of the world's GDP with 4% of the world's population. 25% of the world's GDP with just 4% population. And we are 14% of the world's population with just 3% or thereabouts of GDP. So, long way to go. Long way to go. How about China with similar population? Any guesses? China is $20 trillion. So 14% of the world's population and 20% of the world's GDP. So not 20%, a little shade less than that, but they are already there. So we need to benchmark with these countries, US and the Chinas of the world, and make sure that we don't feel happy about having leapfrog France or Italy. They are small countries with very small populations. Keep this perspective in mind when you think about making India great. This is the perspective that we should be building upon to make India a truly developed country by 2047. We have a roadmap which is in place. The previous eminent speakers spoke about what India is going to do, how we are going to go about it, what the government is doing. All of that is fine. But it is in our hands, all of you guys, that we need to, and people like you in other colleges and other institutions across the country, who need to start taking things into their own hands. Now, any one of you has heard of the term moat? Moat, M-O-A-T. So, in earlier times, we used to have these castles, especially in Europe and US and all these places. You had these castles which were surrounded by large pits of water, which kind of surrounded them and made them invincible. So anyone who wanted to reach that castle had to cross this river, and the control was with the people sitting inside the castle. This is the original concept of moat. Anyone knows Mr. Warren Buffett? You guys know Mr. Warren Buffett? Okay. So he coined it in the terms of, say, companies. He started calling companies moat in the year 2012. So moat is nothing but a company which has a sustainable competitive advantage. You can see two words written on the banner behind us: sustainable and competitive. So moat stands for companies which create sustainable competitive advantage. That is the importance of moat. And India has typically been a very low-cost producer. So when it comes to producing low-cost goods, the whole world looks at India. Do we want to continue doing that? Yes or no? No. Sorry. We shouldn't be looking at continuing to produce low-cost goods for the world. We have to add value to whatever we produce. Bring a lot of quality to what India has to offer to the world. Investment in R&D, just 0.6%. It has to go up. Countries like US and Korea spend about 3-4% in R&D, and that is where they create value. You guys know about NVIDIA? What is the market cap of NVIDIA? It is a moat. It is the most moat of all companies, NVIDIA. Any guesses? 5 trillion, close to 5 trillion. And what are we in India? 4 trillion. Did you feel bad about it? I've been feeling absolutely shit about it since I came to know about NVIDIA's market cap being $5 trillion. Why is it at $5 trillion or close to that? Because they are a moat. They have provided or created a concept which is end-to-end. They give end-to-end customer service. End-to-end is what their customers are in their control. So they have created a sustainable competitive advantage. And I want you to feel this pinch, which is going to make you emerge as better entrepreneurs as you go along, better career-oriented guys, because then you will appreciate what we need to achieve. We may have achieved a lot, but sky is the limit. Innovate and produce items which the world. So instead of producing components for the world, now we are getting to produce helicopters in India. Are you aware? So this is the kind of value addition that Indian companies need to produce or work towards. And instead of being a cheaper alternative, you need to be producing faster and reliable, better items for the world. Now, we are all sitting on a humongous amount of data, lot of data. I hope I can take maybe a couple of minutes more. Yeah. So we are sitting on humongous amounts of data, but are we harnessing it well? No. But there are companies in India who have started this journey. There's a company called Volvo Eicher Commercial Vehicles. What do? They produce vehicles, right? Have they stopped there? No. They have created a concept wherein they are monitoring the life or performance of all their vehicles end to end. So they are able to predict what item is going to malfunction at what point of time. So this kind of service is coming to, you are all Gen Zs and millennials. You are very, very demanding. So think from a Gen Z perspective as to what the customer would demand. When you start thinking from a Gen Z perspective, you will automatically give solutions which a Gen Z demands. A Gen Z demands a printout at 2 p.m. in the night, and if he doesn't have a printer, his printer is conked off, he'll just do a Blinkit. The printout will be there with him in the next 15 minutes. Think out of the box. Think of something. What we used to see in sci-fi movies is happening by way of Digiyatra. Digiyatra is Indian, right? And India is offering it to the world. This is the kind of innovation that we need to do. Digiyatra, you just walk in to the airport terminal. You don't have to scan anything. Just your face is the passport to wherever you want to go. So that's the kind of innovation that we should be looking at. Customer centricity, as I said, the Blinkits and the big baskets of the world are customer centric. They want what, they know what you want. When, for example, Dev or Sanandi have just logged in into Blinkit, Blinkit already has an idea of what they're going to order. And by the time they finish the payment or whatever, half of the items have already been packed. So this is the kind of change that we need. And this is a UPI, again, is an Indian concept. So let us look at these things and make India into what it can possibly be. We need to offer premium solutions. Make your products premium. Do value adds. Don't just supply components to the world. Don't just supply services to the world. Services coupled with a lot of functionalities which only you have. Make use of AI and data. Typically in a supply chain, you need to create a value chain. The example of Volvo Eicher, they have created a value chain. It is not just a supply chain. The customer is delighted because he knows when to change an axle, when to change the fuel system or whatever. And that too in advance. Plus they also tell them, कि सर आप वहाँ जाके बदल लेना, because that is closest to where your vehicle is currently. So that is the kind of data usage or data intelligence that they've built in. Hiring going forward will not be for skills. I can tell you from the way we hire people, and I have one of the stalwarts of our hiring team here from the HR, Arun. He knows we are not hiring people for skills. We are hiring people for their judgment and ability to take decisions. People who take decisions will be hired faster. Who are more judgmental or able to conceive things will be hired faster. And made in India at one point of time will obviously stand for quality and reliability. That should be the aim, not just a product. Quality and reliability in the product. We have to design to build, not copy whatever someone else has done. Most importantly, ESG has to be the focus. You know ESG? How many of you know ESG? You are being taught ESG. How many of you make sure that you don't misuse resources? How many of you make sure that you carry a cloth bag when you are going to buy essentials? We have to be responsive towards the environment. Once we start doing all of this, and semiconductors and the things similar to this is what India should be aiming to develop. Recently, in UP, there's been a launch of a semiconductor building factory. So that's going to shape the future of India. And like Mr. Vinod Malhotra mentioned, don't forget the 85% living in the hinterland. Address the issues that are there in the hinterland. Plus, Mr. Arvind Jain mentioned about 10 years of hard work. Make sure that you have that 10 years of hard work. Rest of the life will flow like a stream. Absolutely like a stream. If you have 10 years of hard work, rest of the life is sorted. And with this, I would like to wish you all the best, but make India a MOAT, moat economy. Moat economy is what we should be focusing on making India, not just companies. Our country has to be a moat with a sustainable competitive advantage. Thank you.
So thank you so much. Some very valid points. We've funneled down from the world economy to the Indian economy. And of course, indeed, we have a very, very long way to go. Thank you for the term of moat economy. Now I would be coming to Mr. Nitin Khindria. Sir, what role will Industry 4.0 technologies such as automation, AI, IoT, and smart factories will play in manufacturing at the rate 2030? So, what is the future for our country when it comes to the paradigm of technologies?
Somehow, what I believe that talking about the industry by sitting on this chair is very difficult task. Sitting in the Jaipuria and taking care of the IIMs or the ISB is not my job. Very honestly speaking. We need to be very, very selfish when we are designing and we are talking about Bharat 2030 or the 2047. Are we really worried about India? Or we are still in the tap of Warren Buffett, what he did it way back 50 years ago, or what and how the global industries are moving in. If you talk about that, every industry comes into the phases and every organization comes into the phases. How the budgets which made by Government of India, either the capital or the revenue budget, how the funds of allocations happening in the different sectors, what I'm getting in that sector, that's the most important thing which we need to look into. Second, if we talk about some kind of a specific thing in terms of ELI or the PLI schemes, it is very great to look into those schemes, but are these schemes are going to impact my business? Are they providing me the enough opportunities to grow in the market or not? We are not asking the relevant questions to the relevant audience or to the relevant policy makers, which is why it is happening, because we lack integrity and the tough things to handle. You have touched upon the IoT, right, in your question. Now, if you see the IoT as an independent unit which has been placed in vehicle. Now, coming policy on the cyber security for the vehicles, how that going to be integrated within the overall automotive business, how that cyber security policies are going to impact my hiring policy, right? My policies for dealers, my policies for vendors to take care of those things. Do I have that kind of an integration within the system or not? Are we asking these questions or not? IoT which has been placed on the vehicle, it can give you the live data. Now, how we need to use that live data? Is it helping me in serving the customer on the road? Because if I'm selling the three-wheeler, which Omega CK is the master in it, if that vehicle is off-road for 12 hours, which means my driver is losing his income. If he's losing his income, the livelihood of that driver is getting impact. So I'm not putting the IoT for a showcasing. I'm ensuring that the online service of the vehicles can be done. Then it has to be supported by the right kind of a chatbot, that if some kind of an error is coming into it, as a user, can I solve it or not? As a user means as a driver. Whatever the data is coming into that chatbot in the IoT device, is my R&D has an access to that or not? To design, making design and development changes into the vehicles and the technology. Is my production department has an access to that data to see that what kind of stepwise, where the and why that error is happening, and what kind of precautionary things we can do while the product is on the assembly line. Now, when it goes, the data goes to my quality. How and what kind of things we can change into the PDI section. Now, that kind of data can I collected and sit with my vendors to talk about that these are the quality parameters which you need to take care of. Can it be given to my sales team to make on a sales pitch? Can I give it to my dealers? So it's on a whole ecosystem which needs to integrate and collaborate to deliver the best. I think we all are working in a silos. So if we really want manufacturing sectors to work with the latest technology, with the latest mindset, and it's not on a transitional change, it's on a transformational change. It's on a leadership requirement which needs to be changed. You can't micromanage people. And that is where you need to break the silos that somebody is in a quality, somebody is, and we as an Indian are very emotional. So if we introduce something, we stick with that this is my baby. No, it's an organization baby. Organization needs to succeed. See, these students, maybe 21, 22 years, which means that 38 years of career still pending with them. So what you guys are doing if the businesses are wrapping and somebody talked about the exit of the business? I don't like this concept at all. If you want to exit from the business, why? What you have given to the society to build up for the next 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, wherever I am working or I am associated with it, if people associated with me are not going to associate with that business particularly or to take that organization to the next level, right? What is my contribution? What kind of a value I am adding into it? Why we are not asking questions to ourselves? That is the questions we need to ask ourselves. Are we contributing to build the future of the organization? My job is done. But what about that? I am creating the more jobs within the system or not? I can't go to my chairman and I will tell that, okay, we need to create another thing. He will say that, okay, bring the business. I'm ready to expand. And the other resources, you can find it out. That's not an issue. But the intent has to be there. And intent will come from inside. And then you need to build the intent over the content. And there is nothing, something like that, which is better, intent or content. They have to go hand by hand. So when you talk about technology will play the role, technology is going to change. But yes, the collaboration and the integration with the high level of integrity, this is what I think can decide the future of Bharat.
Wow, I don't have any words to further explain this, but a very, very retrospective and introspective approach that what exactly have we been doing and where do we want to go in future? Are we really asking the right question to right individuals? Are the real policies being framed that would actually support the sector at the base level? So thank you so much. It was an eye-opener. I would want Ms. Pooja's view on how can manufacturing firms leverage digital transformation to enhance productivity and operational excellence. Ma'am, you're representing NTPC. If we can understand that, how exactly is that being done at your organization or at the manufacturing sector per se, that would be great.
See, we all know AI is here and it is here to stay. How we are going to leverage it is on to us. And how responsibly and wisely we will use it, as Sir was initially in the first session talking about it, that don't become a slave of AI. Master it. Let AI do things as you want it. Don't let it manipulate you. Similarly, in the industries also, you would observe that several organizations, even in the manufacturing sector, have very prudently used AI to gain competitive advantages, to gain cost effectiveness, operational efficiencies. Cost is just one of the concerns, but I'll just give you a few examples. I come from the power sector, yes. There are several organizations that we are looking at who are currently using the concept of digital twins. So an organization like GE Vernova, which works with gas turbines. So what they have done is they have duplicated the original gas turbines on a digital platform, taking data from the actual turbine, making the digital twin work on it, and studying the patterns and the say the operational efficiencies of the turbine. This has helped in predicting the performance of the turbine and also predicting the maintenance requirement of the various parts of the power plant. Coming back to my organization, it's been almost like 7 to 8 years now that we have been using predictive maintenance using robotics. So a power plant, if you would understand, consists of huge equipments, turbines, generators. Some are quite not easily approachable in the sense we have to deal with very extremely high temperatures in the equipments. Some are rotary parts which you cannot even dream at what speed that they function. So how do you keep a check on whether these equipments are working fine? It was like traditionally and way back it was being done manually, but still we were not able to reach at certain points in the plant where the equipments were operating at a very high speed or a very high temperature or pressure. So these robotic equipments have helped us reach into those deepest points and pinpoint exactly what is going wrong or going to go wrong. So what is going wrong is not so important to me. What is important now with AI is what can go wrong so that I can handle that issue before it arises. Predictive maintenance is what we are looking at, and because of these technologies, we've been able to increase the uptime of the equipment. If you understand uptime, the time the equipment is available in a healthy state for usage by almost 30%. We've been able to reduce the forced outages. Forced outages is when the equipment goes wrong and you're forced to shut down the power plant. Power plant, you understand, energy being an essential service, it is always required to supply to the grid. You cannot go off the grid if you've committed that you will supply to the grid. So to ensure that your forced outages are minimized is a very key point in plant operations. So these are the areas where we are using AI and technology to better our equipments, to better our performance. There's a huge scope when it comes to use of technology and AI, not just in, say, the power sector, but even in the manufacturing sector that involves the FMCG goods and other things. So I was talking about assembly lines. There are assembly lines, again, they're using digital twins to understand where they can minimize the cycle time or the process manufacturing time. Then there are organizations like Procter & Gamble who have used AI and digital tools in their warehouses, and they've achieved almost 99.9% on-time deliveries using these tools. So magical things are possible with AI. It is on to us to use it responsibly. The world is waiting for us, and we have very little time to achieve what we have envisioned for ourselves. When we say 2030, I'll not even say 2047, we still have time, but the targets that we have set for 2030, we are just 4 years away from it now. So the time is now, let's act upon it, let's leverage the technology that we have and move on from here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Pooja. So a wonderful insight that AI is going to be a practice or a process that is going to help us in develop our foresightedness, and we as individuals, we as the future managers should be ready to work hand in hand with AI. With this, I come to a very relevant question that is to be posed to Mr. Dev Jha, that what talent transformation strategies are required to prepare the workforce for manufacturing at 2030? So we have a house full of 300 management graduates. Okay. So what do you think?
Hi, good afternoon once again. So she has asked this question on behalf of you. So I have a humble request to all of you. All of you have to be here. Not with your phone, not to be discussing with your colleagues sitting left and right. Is that correct? Are you with me? Yes, sir. And the people who are sitting in the back? All right. So I'm coming to the topic first of all, the manufacturing 2030. So tell me what percentage of manufacturing contributes in our GDP? Okay, approx 90%. One. Anybody else? What percentage of our GDP manufacturing contributes in our GDP in India currently? All right, roughly between 16 and 70%, that's the GDP we contributes, okay. And we are aspiring for 25% by the next another 5-6 years. That's what the target the Prime Minister Modi is taking. For the India, just the manufacturing will contribute to 25% GDP. Now I'm going to ask another question. What percentage of India contributes in overall manufacturing output? Don't look at the chat GPT and the phone. Even if you don't know, that's absolutely okay. I don't expect this from you. But I just wanted to keep you alive in this room.
An approximate figure can be given.
There's no right and wrong. Whatever you know, you can talk about, right? What percentage of our manufacturing contributes in the global manufacturing output? How much India contributes in global manufacturing output? Perfectly, it's a 3%. And what percentage of our neighboring country, the China, contributes in global manufacturing output? Around 25%. That's absolutely right. Now, see the number, what I'm talking about, the 3% to 25%. There is a huge gap. And that gap is the challenge and as well as opportunity for all of us. Have you seen any technological advancement in China? Have you heard about any innovation in the terms of the technology innovation in China? Any company you know? Probably not more, right? But you definitely know there are a lot of innovations in the manufacturing. And manufacturing has been the core for the China. That's what the growth story of the China is all about. So India, when we talk about the manufacturing 2030, we are talking about the similar thing what we are referring here. Now the biggest question and the biggest challenge lies us, how do we do that? And that cannot be done. We are not here to make only a smart manufacturing setup, but we also need to make a smart and agile workforce, future-ready workforce. That's equally important. Correct? Yes or no? Now the biggest question, how we will do that? What talent strategy transformation will take the call here? So, I think it has to be done at the 4 level. I can understand here. The first, if I look at the first level when we talk about is the digital and technical upskilling. And why we say about the digital and technical upskilling, not only we're talking about the top of the pyramid, but also we're talking about the bottom of the pyramid. The manufacturing, those are the operators, are they ready to understand the dashboard, what talks about the technology and the technology? Are they ready to work with IoT? Are they aware about they can sustain to work with the robots, where the robots is simultaneously working and the people are simultaneously working? That's kind of technology and the digital upskilling is equally important. And that's where it comes to all of you. Is equally important for the digital tools and digital technology. You might keep hearing that AI will replace job or AI will replace you. But AI will not replace you. But AI will definitely replace you those who don't understand how to use the AI. You understand?
Yes, sir.
You will be replaced by the people who understand how to use the AI, but if you don't know how to use the AI. So one of the important pool is to understand the technology and digital upskilling. Second, we look at from the manufacturing perspective, if you look at the globally manufacturing in India, almost every manufacturing sector, the demand and supply is lagged by 15 to 20%. And that's very, very important aspect to understand the productivity and the lean mindset. Lean mindset can be only possible if you train the people and if you train the manager at the shop floor level to take the accountability, not only for the cost, but also for the production and the quality. That's equally important. That's only possible when you train them, when you educate them, or create an environment where they start taking as a lean mindset is one of their own important areas. Third perspective is the leadership perspective, I would say. And that's leadership perspective. Why this is important? Because Talent strategy, when we talk about leadership, when we talk about talent strategy, is not the HR prerogative, it's not the HR responsibility. But it's equal responsibility of the organization, every function or every leader who is responsible to build the digital literacy, to build this system around, or equip the right tool and technology in the organization so that the people can work equally. And the fourth perspective largely on the upskilling at the ecosystem level. So the large company, India Glycol is a large manufacturing company, India Glycol cannot be a leader in the production unless their suppliers become equally competent enough to supply. So you have to develop ecosystem for your MSME partner as well, who are your supplier. So you have to train them at these all levels across. I think these are my initial thought on the talent strategy transformation of the manufacturing 2030. Yeah.
Sir, thank you so much. And like a whiff of optimism for all of us, for all the students specifically, that AI won't be replacing you, but AI is going to support you, provided you work very well learning all the arenas around AI. So making a future-ready workforce, checking upon the core level, digital and technical upskilling. Sir, thank you so much for giving us the understanding about how our future is going to look like. With this, I want to move upon Professor Mohapatra, sir. We want to understand that what frameworks can manufacturers adopt to reduce the carbon footprints, because that has been the major issue that is revolving around sustainability, threatening the sustainability, if I may say. So what frameworks can manufacturer adopt to reduce carbon footprints while maintaining profitability? Over to you, sir.
Good afternoon, all of you. In fact, when I got an invitation from ma'am, I was very excited to attend here because my daughter passed out from this institute. So it was a privilege for me and for my daughter to attend and say something to the students. So the question ma'am put to me is a bit technical, but whatever I have experience in manufacturing sector, because I have worked 2 decades in manufacturing sector, I'll throw some insights on it. But before going there, I will tell something about the topic, the manufacturing at the rate 2030, both competitiveness and sustainability. So guys, you are from doing MBA, you must have read 4 or 5 courses very well. Competitive 4 or 5 courses you have very well. So new word adjoined to it, that is called sustainability. Let us understand what is sustainability. So what is sustainability and what is competitiveness? How can you achieve both the things by 2030 at manufacturing sector? So I have small statistics. So in the last 15 years, ever since BJP government came, so in the 15 years, the number of SEEK units in the manufacturing sector last 15 years, 5,16,619. 5,16,619 is the SEEK unit declared in the last 15 years. And on the contrary, we have some good news also. The startup in the last 10 years, 2 lakh units. We have 2 lakh units of new startup. So if I research, if I make more detailed study, what happened to the manufacturing sector? Why more than 5 lakh units got sick, got bankrupt? So, and the official rate is 4% is the NPA rate. NPA means non-performing asset. But actual NPA rate is more than 9%. So more than 9% is the NPA rate, which resulted in 5,16,000 is the SEEK unit declared in the last 15 years. Why I put these statistics in front of you? Just to make you realize that what is our failure in sustainability. Why couldn't we achieve sustainability? I will not go much deeper into it because it will lead bigger discussion. I can give only 2 practical examples. What I have faced in the last 20 years in manufacturing sector and why we fail in sustainability in many regions and how to do it. Sir, there is a company I worked, there is a tier Maruti, we manufacture automobile sector. Maruti have that time around nearly 400 vendors, tier 1 and tier 2 vendors. So they have a guidelines to follow. First 100 vendors and remaining vendors. You have to follow the guidelines. So out of 400 vendors, in 2010, I'm telling you the statistics, 85 to 90% vendors were Indian vendors. And remaining vendors were subsidiaries, all these things. But currently, the statistic has changed. Maruti has reduced from 400 vendors to around 200 vendors. Why? Because they could not adhere to the norms decided by the Maruti. And what happened? So many Japanese companies entered the Indian market, captured the Indian market. So we were relegated to a different positions now. So fortunately, I got an opportunity to work in a multinational company, a Japanese company. I realized because I have already worked 10 years in a company, vendor one, tier one company. Then I shifted to manufacturing company of Japanese owners. So I found a big difference, absolute big difference. They follow absolute sustainability procedures. They follow absolute norms. There is no compromise on the norms. चाहे company को profit हो, नहीं हो, and their profit percentage projection was only 2%. Here we project at least 7%, 8% profit to submit to the bank for the loan dispersal. We submit to the bank to 7%, 8% profit to sustain. But they project only 2%, 1%, 2%. They sustain, we could not sustain. As a result, 10% of the unit, 10% of the manufacturing sector got sick, got NPA. So let us understand where we are going wrong. This is the call of you guys are young manager, you will be young manager. What you will realize, the importance you realize, study from here that we are going to implement there in your career. This MBA degree, this is a piece of paper. But practically when you work in the industry, you will see the ground reality. You have to prove it. You have to make India strong. So you should understand what is sustainability. Sustainability is a new topic. All the research, all the important research are going on sustainability. Because unless you sustain, we cannot thrive. Modi ji has dreamed of we are going to become the third number 3 countries by 2027. We'll definitely achieve it, no doubt, we'll achieve it. But can you thrive, sustain in 2030? The same statistics? Let us see where we are going wrong. So I have noted few points on, ma'am put me the question on carbon footprint. So this is a pure technical topic, but I'll tell you whatever we have learned from the industry, that we are not following circular economy approach. I have worked in Middle East for 2 years. I have an opportunity to visit Europe also to see the manufacturing setup there. They follow 100% circular economic approach. We don't follow 100%. Circular economic approach means it should be reused. There should not be waste. Waste should be reused. It will give more in the process. In the manufacturing process, waste should be reused so that we'll have ecological balance. In India, we don't follow it properly. There is a lot of compromises in waste management. In Europe, in Middle East, they have 100% compliances. You cannot compromise. You can play with the waste circular economy concept. In Faridabad, I'm giving one example here. In Faridabad, the Pollution Control Board inspected a factory. And they put 20 lakhs as a fine because they didn't have the waste management plant. And somebody approached them, okay, sir, fine pay kar dijiye. Then the promoter of the company asked to the department, what is the second best alternative? Okay, you can set up a plant. What is the plant cost? 10 crore. He accepted the second proposal. He spent 10 crore to set up a waste disposal plant, rather paying 20 lakhs fine and get some relaxation. Right. So this concept to be imbibed, and this concept, when you're a young manager in a company, you should promote this type of concept. You should encourage, motivate your promoters, stakeholder that we should not compromise with sustainability. Right. Next is life cycle assessment. Life cycle assessment, see, you have to see the product, you have to choose the product which has life cycle, which will not create more wastage, which has no short-term longevity. So in Europe, in America, when the product is launched, it is studied properly. A lot of research is made to see the life cycle of the product. In India, unfortunately, it is not being done because it is a big economy. Third is science-based target initiative. Science-based target initiative means on the basis of climate change, on the basis of sustainability issues, so the promoters, stakeholders should decide what sort of target, what sort of product should manufacture, should be encouraged. Other companies are doing. Earlier in Maruti, they used to make steel. Steel was the main component. So now they replace the steel with plastics because they see the sustainability plastic. So in many other manufacturing sector, it is time to consider which product to promote, which product to encourage, which product to use, so that it will give life. Science-based target should be fixed.
So, sir, we've got very valid input from your end that how overall the overhauling can take place and how carbon footprints can be reduced. With this, I'll be taking the closing remarks from each of the panelists.